last night. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. So today we're learning about hyperbolas. So I'm going to show you what they are. This is usually very useful in aeronautics, by the way. So what a hyperbola is, okay, is it takes an inner center, maybe such as Earth, and it shows that things would come in and then shoot out. So what comes into Earth and then sometimes shoots out from the orbit? Asteroids and meteorites, right? So this is very good for like aerospace engineering and things like that. So, for example, it can go sideways, or remember we talked about the foci, the focus of each one. They can also go, let's see if I can figure out how to do it. No, it's just moving it. Can also go the other direction. It's not letting me. Maybe I'll let me do this. Anyways, it can also go the other direction. Okay, so it can swing up this way, and it can swing out that way.
So is the center Earth and a circle around it is gravity field?
Yes. Yep. And so as you get a focus closer to the center, these will eventually be out of the gravity field. Okay? So the equation for this is similar to an ellipse. The only difference is that it is minus instead of what an ellipse was adding. Okay? That was last Wednesday. Yeah, we did. Do you want some? Okay. Not seeing them here. Can I find them in a little bit? Okay. So, if y is first, it means that your focus is on your y-axis, okay? And so your curves will be up and down, okay? If x is first, do you guys see how it's curved around your x-axis then? Okay. So, the distance on the x-axis is a. BA represents the rectangle formed by the asymptotes of the equation. The focus is represented by the letter C. Okay? So B squared is going to equal C squared minus A squared. How is this different from the equation for the ellipse? Does anyone remember? So for the equation of the ellipse, these two were switched. Okay? So for an ellipse, we had two equations. We had B squared equals A squared minus C squared, and we had A squared equals B squared minus C squared. So that was for an ellipse. Okay, do you guys see how the hyperbola is different? Yeah. Okay. So B squared equals C squared minus A squared. And so in this, it doesn't really matter, because if you add A squared and subtract B squared, this is just one formula, okay? It doesn't really change. So for an ellipse, you have to know the two, because they're not intertwined. But for a hyperbola, you only have to know one. So find an equation of a hyperbola with center at the origin. One focus is at 3, 0. So that number 3 is your what? C. And it's showing that C is on which axis? X. So of the two equations above, are we going to have x squared minus y squared or y squared minus x squared? X squared minus y squared. Okay. Let me write it down first and then I'll explain it. Okay? So the reason that we know that it's this way is because your x-coordinate is 3, meaning your focus is on your x-axis, meaning that if your focus is on your x-axis, it has to curve like this.
Well, why is it labeled C X?
So we label it C so that we can plug it into this formula so that we can find what our other letter is. Okay? And then it says one of your vertex is at -2, 0. So what letter is that going to be? So your X. So that's going to be your A. So this is going to be my A. We're going to find our B now. So then we would use our formula. B squared is going to equal C squared, so that's 3, minus -2 squared. Okay. Remember, when you square a negative, it turns positive, so this is going to be a 9 minus 4. So B squared is 5, so B is the square root of 5. Okay, so first, figure out which of your equations you're using based on your focus. Okay, label your focus your C, and then your vertex is either going to be your A or your B depending on which axis it gives you it on. Okay, so this is A because it's X. Okay, if it had been 0, -2, then it would have been our B. Then you plug in your C and your A into this formula up here, and then you solve to get what B is, and now you're writing your equation. You're going to get X squared over, let's see, A is -2, so A squared would be 4, minus Y squared. B is the square root of 5, the square root of 5 squared is 5, equals 1. Notice that, so on, you just leave it like that.
That's the answer?
That's the answer. Okay? Couple of things. With an ellipse, your bigger number on bottom determined where your focus was at. When it comes to hyperbolas, it doesn't matter which one's bigger because of that subtraction piece. Okay? Yes?
If 3 would have been in the Y spot up in the very beginning,
yep,
the focus still would have been C. So it still would have been C, just would have been labeled. Right? We just moved the formula, right?
Yep, we would have switched things around with our formula. So what that would have done then is it actually wouldn't have changed anything. It's just these two would have been switched. Because then if our focus is on our y-axis, our y has to come first.
Focus is always C.
Yep, focus is always C. Okay, so this next one is pretty much exactly what you said. It says find an equation for a hyperbola with center at the origin. One focus is at 0, 3. So again, that's my C. No. I'm okay with you not today. And one vertex is at 0, 2. Okay, so you have a focus at 0, 3 and one vertex at 0, 2. Okay, this is my y coordinate, so this is my B. Okay, my focus is on my y-axis, so that means y comes first, so it's going to be y squared over b squared minus x squared over a squared equals 1. You would solve for your C. So the equation, remember a hyperbola, it's just the 1. Okay? So I know my B is 2, so that means this is going to be a 4. My C would be a 9. Well, it'd be 3 squared, but then it'd be 9. Equals -a squared. So you'd subtract 9, you get negative 5 equals negative a squared. Divide by negative 1, it means 5 equals a squared. So a is the square root of 5. And your equation would be y squared over 4 minus x squared over 5 equals 1. No, because this is my b. B goes under y. This is my a. A goes under x. It's printed wrong? Are both of them? Oh, yeah. Should be b squared, a squared. Mm-hmm.
So where does that square root of 5 go? A equals square root of 5.
Yep.
You just discard the square root.
Well, because this is a squared. What's the square root of 5 squared?
Oh, okay.
See what happened? Yep. All right. So it says, given the equation x squared over 16 minus y squared over 4 equals 1, determine the foci, the vertices, and the equation of the asymptotes. So first of all, let's start with the vertices. Okay. A is 4. B is 2. Good. So your vertices, you're going to have a 4, 0 and a negative 4, 0. Now, when it comes to hyperbolas, there's only one set of vertices. And it is only at the square root of these. Because the vertices are where you're going to hit your axes. Do I hit my axes up here or down here?
No.
No. Okay, so you'd only list whatever the square root of the first one is, because that's where it's going to hit on your axis. Is everyone okay with that?
So
Or no?
pick one of them that gets false?
You pick the first one. It's always going to be the first one, and that's going to be the one you choose.
Okay.
Okay?
The first one always bigger too?
It depends. Yep. Yeah. But you're always just going to pick that first one for your vertices. Okay? So if you look at your graph, you see how the graph of it, the graph is the actual like purple part. See how it only hits one of your axes? So the vertices are where it hits the axes. So with an ellipse, you remember how it was like a circle, so it hit 4 different spots? With a hyperbola, it only hits in 2. So you only list the 2 that it's actually going to hit on. Okay?
So you don't need to list
0, 2, and 0, negative 2.
You don't list either?
You wouldn't list either of them because you're not actually going to hit a point on either axis.
Right now, negative 3 and A up there are 4.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the vertices?
Yep. So then for your focus, okay, remember the equation is b squared equals c squared minus a squared. Okay, and this is going to give us our focus. So it would be 4 squared equals, or no, I'm backward, 2 squared equals c squared minus 4 squared. So 4 equals c squared minus 16. So you'd add 16, so you get 20 equals c squared. So your focus, your c is square root of 20. Your focus would be square root of 20, 0, and negative square root of 20, 0. Okay, whatever number you find, okay, because x was first, it should go in the x coordinate. Remember, if y was first, your focus would go in your y coordinate.
Is that one negative square root of 20?
Yes,
Okay.
negative square root of 20 for the second one.
Why would you have two focuses?
Because you'd have one on the x-axis on this side and one on the x-axis on that side. No. They're different. The focus, it's the point that, it's something about the Pythagorean theorem. Can't quite remember. But it's the point that creates these lines. It's something about something with the Pythagorean theorem. Like your C is the distance between these two, and then it plots those points as they come around. I can't remember how it really works. So then it says, and the equation of the asymptotes. The equation of your asymptotes are going to be y equals negative b over ax and y equals positive b over ax. So your b is 2, your a is 4. So it'd be negative 4 over 2x, positive 4 over 2x. So it'd be 2x and negative 2x. B is on, oh, shoot, I think I'm doing this backwards. Am I? No. Mm-hmm.
So, Alex, isn't B 2, A is 4?
Oh my gosh, yes. These are backwards. B is 2, A is 4. So it's negative 1/2 x and positive 1/2 x. Sorry, I had my B and my A mixed up. My B is 2, my C is 4. No, my B is 2, my A is 4, so it'd be 1/2 and 1/2. Correct? Okay. So let's do this one. So this one, what's wrong about its setup? What do you have to do first? Well, you have to make it fractions, right? So you have to make this 1, so you have to divide everything by 4. So you get y squared over 4 minus x squared equals 1. And x squared would be over the number 1, correct? Okay, so remember your vertices. Okay, it's going to be your y coordinate, correct? And it's only going to be the square root of the first number. So your vertices are going to be 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. So 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. Is everyone okay with that? All right. Then you're going to determine the focus. B is 2. A is 1. So we'd get 2 squared. Y goes with B. X goes with A. Now, if you mess that up, Connor, it would not actually change your answer. So you'd add 1. So you get 5 equals C squared. So C is the square root of 5. So your foci would be 0 square root of 5, 0 negative square root of 5. Okay. Now, your equation for your asymptotes, it should always be, so this one we did B over A, right? Okay. This one, do you think it's still going to be B over A? No, it's probably going to be what? A over B. So your equation is going to be y equals 1/2 x, y equals negative 1/2 x. Okay?
What are the numbers we just found?
Which ones?
The half ones. Those are our equation ones.
Those are your equation for your asymptotes.
Okay.
Okay?
And the vertices are the 0, 2, 0, -2.
Yep.
What about the square root of 5?
The square root of 5 is your, each one is your focus. So this is one of your focus, this is your other focus, so together they're foci. Okay? Do you guys want to do some of these problems together?
Yes.
Okay.
So you figure out y equals 1/2 x and y equals negative 1/2 x. That's switched from the top one because y was first.
Yes. So it should always be the second over the square root of the second over the square root of the first. Does that help? Okay. All right. So let's look at, what's the first one assigned? 15? Okay, if you want to move ahead of us, you can. Otherwise, let's just do a bunch together.
So we just gotta remember when the A and the B switch and stuff like that.
Yes.